Dear colleagues and participants to our Global Disruptive Tech Challenge, welcome. Welcome to our second webinar and question and answer live session. On behalf of our team, I first would like to wish you a Happy New Year. We meet in this beginning of January, all fresh for 2021, and with the hope that this new year will bring the best realizations for all of us and your families. So before starting this second webinar for the Global Disruptive Tech Challenge, I just wanted to quickly introduce you our team of the challenge. And I will ask my colleagues to after I name their name, to say hi, each of them, after I mentioned their names. So I will start with my team on the World Bank side, and I will start with myself. My name is Manon Casara, and I am coordinating this Global Disruptive Tech Challenge along with my colleague Jorit and Martin. Jorit, would you like to say hi? And then after Martin?
Hello.
Martin?
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here. Good luck, all of you.
Thank you. So you have now the core team on the World Bank side. Please note that the challenge is implemented with the support of the Kazakh-German University. The Kazakh-German University is our key focal point in Central Asia to prepare and implement this challenge. And they are doing a really big work and big efforts to make this challenge high quality. So I would like Baljan and Maria to quickly switch on their camera and say hi. Baljan?
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Maria and Baljan. And then, because we have different levels of implementation at our challenge, in our challenge team, we have the Global Landscape Forum, without who it wouldn't be possible to meet today because they have on hands all the technical issues and the global outreach of our project. And on our side, we have Elena, Vijit, Amy, and Judith. Elena, would you like to start? Say hi. Elena, you're muted. If it doesn't work, Vijit, you can go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Amy.
Hi, all.
Judith.
Hello, everyone.
And Elena, I know you're here. If you can try one last time,
Yes,
otherwise.
yes, I'm finally here. Sorry, hi.
As you can see, the GLF is our largest team represented on our meeting today. So just to update you on a few items on our challenge before we move on to the rest of the agenda. A few housekeeping questions. Maybe Vijit, I don't have the presentation anymore. Yes. And this is mostly for those who need to follow the Russian translation. So on the bottom of the screen, you can choose the language you feel more comfortable with, and we have English and Russian. So please press the language you will need, and I hope you don't have any issues. In any case, you have the chat, the Q&A chat, where you can address your questions, and the team will come back to you with the answers you will need. So now moving forward to the rest of the agenda, I would like to present you a trailer that the team has been working on, introducing the challenge and the objective of it. So I will let Vijit already, yes, show the trailer, as it clearly shows the objective of what we are trying to do with this challenge. You can go ahead, Vijit. Thank you. So while Vijit is putting the video on play, I just would like to mention, so for those who have questions, we are addressing them live, and you can directly write them in the chat. So it's a more written question and answers session. Thank you, Vijit, and thank you to the team for developing such a great video. I think it clearly explains the objective of our challenge. And as you might already know, but for some of you, it might be the first time you attend our meetings, the Global Disruptive Tech Challenge is really a premiere for our team, for the Wellbank team. And for this first time, we chose the Aral Sea region, which is a very challenging region by itself, just to show really what we can do with the innovations and the new approaches to solve recurring environmental issues in this part of the world. And because not maybe all of you are familiar with the Aral Sea region and the challenges that are occurring there, we invited Mr. Anselm Karl Albertovich to get today with us. And Mr. Anselm is the head of the Regulatory Methodology Department in the South Kazakhstan Ameliorative Expedition Department. So on this, I will leave the floor to Mr. Anselm Kalm for his presentation today. Господин Анселм, мы вас слышим.
Уважаемые коллеги,
Dear colleagues, good day. I would like to say Happy New Year and wish to all of you that we managed to implement a lot of projects this year, including through disruptive technologies. I represent the South Kazakhstan Hydrogeological Melioration Expedition, and I'm a candidate of agricultural sciences and expert in irrigated agriculture. We do monitoring of irrigated land. We develop recommendation, assessment on efficient use of water and land resources in the south of Kazakhstan. So specifically, we participate in various projects and CAREC and other structures. I was involved in basin planning in Aral Sea and other projects, and I am familiar with the system of today's webinar. I would like to briefly tell you about the characteristics of the Aral Sea basin. The Aral Sea is formed on the territory of 6 Central Asian countries, including Afghanistan. In terms of its climate conditions, it is an arid zone, central continental part of Eurasian continent, and in these conditions, the evaporation of water from water surface is 5 times more than the precipitation. In this regard, in these conditions, the water resources, their availability and efficient use is particularly important and relevant. And the Aral Sea basin, as of 2016, about 53 million people, the population. The irrigated land is the main water consumer, about 8 million hectares. The gross product of 5 Central Asian countries, except Afghanistan, is 134 billion US dollars. The total water intake from the rivers that go to the Aral Sea, which are the 2 main rivers, Sirdarya and Amudarya, amount as of 2016, 90 billion cubic meters, including 78 of them go for irrigation. The water consumption per hectare is 11,000 cubic meters per hectare. As you could see in the video trailer, the Aral Sea is the 4th sea among lakes and 2nd among in-continent lakes after the Caspian Sea. The output of the Aral Sea basin is 116 billion cubic meters, including Sirdarya River 37.2 and Amudarya 79.3 billion cubic meters. You can see the map. On this map, you can see the Aral Sea. And this is as of 1878. And the next slide, you can see the stages of degradation of the Aral Sea in 1970, 2000, and the bottom picture, it's as of 2017, which is the current state. So we can say that practically the lake has vanished from the land surface. If the parameters, now the parameters of Aral Sea, if in 1960 its surface was 68,000 square kilometers, the volume of water resources in it about 1,000 cubic kilometers, and the salinity 10 milliliters. In 2016, its surface has decreased almost by 20 times, and the volume has also decreased, and the salinity increased. We can see on the left side 1960, and on the right side is the actual side. So the lake is not a whole thing. It has become a number of smaller water bodies. We can. So, what are the main indicators of degradation of the Aral Sea? These three graphs show very well that starting from 1965 or 1970s, after the Soviet Union developed the melioration programs included the Aral Sea, and thus an intensive irrigation started and the water intake from Sirdarya and Amudarya. Then the degradation of the lake started, which is a decrease of groundwater that is part of the Baltic system by almost 30 meters. And then the volume has decreased from 1,000 down to 100 cubic kilometers. Also, the volume of aquatorium has decreased almost down to 20. So these are the main indicators. At the moment of development of melioration of land programs, including in the Aral Sea Basin during Soviet period, the specialists and scientists already then believed that after implementation of these programs, the Aral Sea will have a negative balance, which means that the income of water resources will decrease drastically, and in the near future it will vanish. Then in 1962 and 68, this was already forecasted, and when the land was started to be used in 74, they started to develop the model of transportation of Siberian river water to Aral. You can see here that these projects was developed, but these projects were not implemented. In 1986, after big volume of scientific research work has been done on the alignment of the canal, this project was closed by the government of the Soviet Union. And then the ecologists and because the ecologists and scientists criticizes the situation, that's why this project was closed. But the irrigation of lands was never stopped. So as a result, the water was taken, but the restoration project they forgot to implement. This all led to the current state of the Aral Sea. So today, the Kazakh, especially the Kazakh Institute of Geography, propose three options of transportation of water from Irtysh River to the Aral Sea Basin. Three options: the southern, central, and the northern one. For the first one, it will be gravity type. For the southern one, and for the central and northern one, there will be some mechanical support for the water supply. I would like now to talk about several problems besides what I have already said. So why we have come to this state? First of all, the irrigation systems that were built, they were low efficient with low KPI. If we look at this slide, these are the practical data obtained at the big surfaces on how the land was used. And then comparison of the old ones, the cotton with the massives of Golodnaya steppe, where a new canals were built and internal irrigation system and the use of flexible hose. So the water intake in this modern system compared to the old ones diminishes by 6,000 by hectare. At the same time, the water consumption by the crops is the same. The crops take as much as they needed, but the water losses have decreased by 5,000 cubic meters. And
also, there would be a decrease in terms of losses of the water in the fields by the half, and the practice have shown that the modern irrigation systems in the Aral Sea basin, with the application of highly efficient channels and irrigation systems, allows considerably decrease the water catchment and increase the efficiency in terms of irrigation and water usage. Apart from reconstructing the infrastructure for the irrigation systems, we also have non-efficiency and losses of the water resources during the management of the water resources. While the implementation of the automated systems for the distribution recording of the water resources, basing on the examples of the project Fergana, we have seen that there was a decrease for 15-20%. Apart from that, in outdated irrigation systems in the irrigated lands that we have in the basin of the Aral Sea, approximately 32.45 cubic meters of the drainage water is formed. This is approximately the half of the water that we're collecting. Apart from this, we are observing that there is the desert areas. We will see that the desert areas will decrease for about 10.9 kilometers. That the water would be reused in the volume of 4.8 kilometers. Therefore, we can see the positive effect on the basing on this example. Apart from that, the reconstruction of the system, automatization of the systems allows us to improve this situation. There is also a necessity to diversify the different types of crops, and we see that if in 1994, for example, the cotton cost, the kilogram of the cotton cost for about $1. Currently, it is considerably less, and the revenue that is generated from the cotton considerably decreased. Therefore, the economic effectiveness have had decreased. The resources shrink, and this means that we need to shift to the diversification of the crops and of the products, and we need to plant those plants, those fruits and vegetables that require less water, that consume less water. And apart from that, there was a situation between the energy specialist and irrigation specialist. There was a confrontation and conflict of interest. During the Soviet time, the whole system was designed in order to use all the water resources for the irrigation purposes. And therefore, in 1982 and 1999, during the winter time, the water from the biggest resources were disposed. And at that period of time, water mostly was used for the irrigation purposes. After 1919, every single independent country started to initiate and implement their own energy and irrigation policy. And on the territory of those countries where the major part of the water resources is formed, for them it is much more beneficial to use the water for the energy purposes, whereas those countries who are located on the middle parts or on the largest section of the rivers, on the last section of the rivers, they are limited in terms of the usage. And we can see that in terms of disposal of the water resources during the winter time, the volume considerably have increased, and it's more than the half of our overall water resources that is being catched. Therefore, basically, therefore, in order to resolve this issue, it is required jointly on the political, economical level between all 5 Central Asian countries implement the measures as it was proposed by the first of the president of the Republic of the Kazakhstan, Mr. Nazarbayev, in Turkmenistan, and at the same time by the president of the Republic of Uzbekistan. It was proposed that on the basis of the those lands where the Aral Sea resources disappeared, where the drought is observed, to build an innovation center and start planting the trees that would shrink, that would mitigate the risk. And measures were implemented from the side of Kazakhstan in order to restore the northern part of the Aral Sea, and by building a dam in the northern part, we were able to conserve, to restore the part of that northern part of the Aral Sea. And Kazakhstan spent considerable funds in order to conserve and in order to improve the situation. Apart from that, considerable measures were taken in order to increase the capacity in order to increase the capacity of those of the equipment and infrastructure that is installed in the Sirdarya river, in order to catch the storm waters, in order to catch those winter waters, in order to conserve them and expand the northern part of the sea. Apart from that, we had to build the machine canal and expand the Doslik canal in order to increase the efficiency in terms of irrigation. These are the additional costs that Kazakhstan had to bear due to shifting due to moving to the exploitation of the Aral Sea resources, and due to the management of the situation in the northern part. I think that basing on the International Fund for the Aral Sea restoration, and basing on different projects and jointly with governments of all the countries, the efforts and the measures should be implemented and initiate and fulfill those projects that would help us to improve the situation in the Aral Sea basin. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Mr. Anselm. It was very interesting to hear your presentation.
Thank you so much, Manon. And thank you to Carl Anselm for providing us with a very interesting context around the Aral Sea, the history, and also to show us about what is being done in Kazakhstan to try to ameliorate these issues that have been arising. I will keep it as short as possible. This is a little bit of context about this disruptive technology challenge from the World Bank side. It is important to know before we go into details what we understand with disruptive technologies and what it comprises of. There's many definitions. I'm going to use a very short one here. We think disruptive technologies are innovations that abruptly alter the way consumers and businesses operate. It is important to encompass these disruptive technologies in policies, because these can lead to new approaches to old problems. Disruptive technologies are often a bottom-up approach, which means that this can lead to more adequate solution in comparison to solutions that come from governments or larger companies or development organizations. That's why we want to embrace these technologies and use the public and as a crowdsource to come up with new solutions. And the good thing about these solutions is often that they use public domain data. They also provide new public domain data. So there's collective building blocks for the future coming out of these solutions. Disruptive technologies are quite famous already. For example, companies like Uber, like Airbnb can be considered disruptive. But in development, and especially in the green sector, they are less known. But there are many applications already being used, especially remote sensing. As you can see here in the top left corner is widely applied, using satellites to use, for example, for monitoring of deforestation or seeing if the results of a project are taking off. Then irrigation, which you can see in the bottom right corner, is also widely used. That's drip irrigation, and this greatly reduces the water use. Then there's another one which looks very exciting, which is planting trees with drones, for example, allowing trees to be planted in very remote locations with little resources. There's several other examples. I'm not going to go into detail with all of these, but disruptive technologies have become, the importance of them have become very emphasized during the pandemic, because all of a sudden there was a need for new and fast and cheap supplies that couldn't be supplied because of disruptions in the supply chain. And there, the power of disruptive technologies from startups and smaller companies and institutions became very clear. So now all of a sudden there was apps for online healthcare, blockchain-based epidemic monitoring platforms. So you could see on your smartphone if you have been infected or close to somebody that was infected. Robotics and 3D printing technologies for medical equipment, and also online education platforms. All the children had to be schooled from home. And we're currently using one of the most famous COVID-19 disruptive technology platforms, namely Zoom. Well, Carl Anselm already provided us with a great overview of the Aral Sea. I have here a short GIF of how the Aral Sea dried up, so you can see the complexity and the size of this problem. We chose this region because it's a very complex issue, and it is also very replicable in other regions in Central Asia and actually all over the world where they are coping with desertification issues, pollution issues, and also the socio-economic issues. This region is, well, I already mentioned, so there's very challenging socio-economic context here, and the environment is extremely degraded. We, for this challenge, have not, it doesn't come, it comes at a very good time, because also the governments of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan have put this very high on the national agendas. Under the bond challenge, Kazakhstan committed to restore over 1 million hectares, and Uzbekistan over 500,000 hectares of degraded landscape. Then the World Bank put these efforts and emphasized them under the ECA 30 project. And we secured finance to carry out these activities under the Central Asia Water and Energy Program. And this activity specifically is part of the larger World Bank Resilient Central Asia program that is implied in several other regions in Central Asia as well. What is important for us for this challenge is that it is going to be complementary with ongoing efforts in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. There's already famous projects going on to restore the degraded landscapes. Some have been mentioned already. Here's two famous examples. The recovery of the North Aral Sea has partly been done by building a dam that kept the water in. And the World Bank and other organizations are planting saxaul trees in the water, in the Aral Sea bed to try to restore the landscape and also keep the toxic dust from eroding with the wind. The scope of this challenge is that we want to provide benefits for the landscape and the stakeholders. We want to create new out-of-the-box solutions for recurring problems that are complementary, as I mentioned, to ongoing efforts. And it is very important for us that we foster an ecosystem for innovation and the partners that are involved within these countries that we are working in. So that's Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and to a lesser extent, also the surrounding countries. There's some main activities that we're working on right now. There's some big news actually, because today we decided to extend the call for proposals until January the 24th. The challenge event itself, where the winners will be presented, will be the end of February. We will soon also publish the final date for that. Then the capacity building and pre-post challenge activities will comprise of a bootcamp that will start from the date that the proposals close until the challenge event, and then we will have a post-challenge mentorship program where many interesting speakers and mentors will be involved. And finally, there will be some knowledge products coming out of this challenge, and these knowledge projects comprise of an ebook that will be publicly accessible with the shortlisted solutions and other information, some reports, and we will also have a possible MOOC coming out of this challenge, but that's something that has to be finalized still. So the challenge day is going to be the big day. In rough lines, it will consist of, for each of the participants that have been shortlisted, to pitch their proposal. Then there will be a discussion panel in a Shark Tank format, where there will be some questions for you, and based on the way you answer these questions and the quality of your proposal, the jury panels will also select the winner for each theme that day. Then, very importantly, what's in it for you? So the rewards and recognitions for this challenge will comprise of, as I mentioned, this large live online challenge event. Then there will be a report on the key innovations that come out of this challenge, where the winners will be mentioned, and also the shortlisted proposals will be mentioned there. Your solution will be featured in key media outlets, in regional media, but also on the World Bank media and of our partners. Then the winners of each theme will receive a monetary award of up to approximately $4,000. And the winners, as I mentioned before, will be invited to participate in a 4-month mentorship program. And this mentorship program will comprise of several activities, and it will be sponsored by the World Bank, Plug and Play, the German Kazakh University, and the Global Landscapes Forum, and other partners that are joining us. I mentioned their names already a few times, Manon introduced them too. This is the partnership that we have with our main partners to secure that this challenge will have a long-lasting and sustainable impact. So the German Kazakh University is coordinating the challenge. The Global Landscape Forum is one of our trusted partners, and Plug and Play is a technology accelerator from Silicon Valley that's supporting us. And of course, we have great support from the governments of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Thank you very much. And I hope this Q&A will help you write the winning proposal. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Manon. If you allow me, I can continue in English, as we have interpreted today. Здравствуйте все, меня зовут Балжан Жумагазина, я представляю сегодня Казахстанско-немецкий университет.
My name is Balzhan Jumagazina, I represent Kazakh-German University.
И, наверное, я бы хотела начать с того, что представить нашу команду, поскольку в нашем проекте со стороны университета работает несколько человек. Это Барбара Януш-Павлета, которая является проректором по международным отношениям, Мария Генина, которая курирует не только этот проект, но также проекты по бизнес-инкубации, который является одним из основных частей нашего университета, также Гульжамал Исаева, также эксперт по экономике окружающей среде, и я Балжан Жумагазина, как я уже как уже говорилось, основная цель этого проекта — это именно сбор основных инновационных технологий, которые были бы полезны, которые могли бы быть использованы в регионе Аральского моря для восстановления земель и вообще экологической ситуации, улучшения экологической ситуации в регионе.
In order to improve the environmental situation in this region of Aral Sea basin. So under this project, it's not only identification, but also capacity
заинтересованных
building
сторон,
of
обмен
participants and
информацией,
other
обмен знаниями,
stakeholders,
которые будут
exchange of
собраны о
information,
технологиях в рамках
exchange of
этого проекта,
knowledge that will
также
be
развитие более
collected through the implementation
современной
of this
и
project,
более
and also the
комфортной
development of more modern
инновационной среды,
and
экосистемы для
comfortable
молодых
innovation
стартапов и
environment
уже
for
действующих
young
стартапов.
startups and the
И также
existing
это, конечно,
startups,
налаживание
and
связей между
also
экспертами, как
establishment,
тематическими, также
improving
и
the relation between the
бизнес-инкубаторами, которые
experts,
работают по данным
local
направлениям,
and the
и
national
между
and business
молодыми
incubators who
людьми,
work in
которые
this
хотят
area, and
работать в данном
the young
направлении
people
и
who would
помочь
like to
восстановить
work in
нашу
this area
окружающую среду.
for the sake of restoring our environment in the region.
Как уже отмечалось, наш
As
проект
it was
имеет
already
несколько
said,
стадий.
our
Первая
project has
стадия – это
several
непосредственно сбор
stages.
самих
The
заявок.
first one is
Здесь
the
мы
collection of
приветствуем
the
заявки
applications.
как от
Oh,
международных
here we welcome
желающих,
applications
так
both
и
from
участников
international
из
participants
Центральной Азии.
and
То есть это может
also
быть
Central
любое индивидуальное
Asian
лицо или группа лиц, которые
participants. It can
имеют
be an
какую-то
individual
инновационную
or
прорывную
a group
идею и
of
хотят
individuals who have
принять
some
участие в нашем
innovative,
конкурсе.
disruptive idea
Как
who
уже
would
сказал
like to
Джорид,
participate in our
срок
competition. As Jordan
принятия
already
заявок у нас
said,
продлен до
the
24
deadline
января,
has been
так что у вас еще есть
prolonged
время,
to
чтобы пройти
24th of January,
по
so
ссылке,
you
указанной
have
здесь на
time to
сайте,
follow
и
the link
заполнить заявку
provided on the
непосредственно на
website
английском
and then
языке
fill in the application in English
и подать на
and
участие.
submit
Далее,
your
после того, как
application
будут
for
отобраны все
participation.
участники,
After that,
будет проведен
the participants will be
будет
selected
проведена оценка,
and
и
evaluation will be done.
отобранные
And the
участники в короткий
selected
список, они будут проходить далее
applicants
тренинги по
will be put into
наращиванию
short
потенциала, которые
list, and
будут
they will go
именно
through a
готовить
short
этих
capacity
шорт-листованных
building
участников к участию на
training
челлендж-дне.
to prepare them
Как
for
уже
the challenge
отмечалось,
day.
во время Challenge Day
As it
участники
was
уже
said,
смогут
during the
непосредственно
challenge day,
презентовать
the
свою
participants
идею и
will be
свой
able to
проект для
present their ideas, their
членов жюри,
project for
которые будут
the
их
jury
оценивать.
members who
И
will
уже
evaluate
на
them.
основе этих презентаций
Then, based on these
будут отобраны именно те
presentations,
финалисты,
the
которые будут далее
finalists will be
участвовать
selected who
в
will
дальнейших тренингах. И дальнейшие
continue
тренинги, они будут
participating in further trainings.
фокусироваться на
And
нескольких областях. Это
further
тематические
trainings will
вебинары,
focus on the following
развитие
areas:
бизнес-навыков
thematic
и
webinars,
менторская программа.
business skills development, and
Также
mentoring
стоит
program.
отметить, что
Also, we need to mention here
мы собираем
that
заявки именно по
we
нескольким
collect
направлениям.
applications in
Первое направление –
several
это
areas. The
устойчивое
first one being
лесоводство,
the
затем сельское
sustainable
хозяйство и
forestry,
управление
the
земельными
agriculture
ресурсами,
and the land
затем
management,
knowledge
land
и
resources management,
трансфер
then
знаний и
knowledge
социально-экономический аспект. То
transfer
есть,
and
если ваша заявка
socio-economic
подходит под
aspects.
какой-то
So
из
if
этих
your application
тематических
fits
направлений,
under any
мы
of
будем
these
рады приветствовать ваши
topical
заявки
areas, we will be happy to
на
welcome your
нашем
application
сайте.
on our website.
Далее, что я хотела еще отметить, что на этом сайте вы
Then,
найдете не только
I would like to
тематическую
say that on this
информацию
website, not
касательно
only
Аральского
will you
моря, но
find
также есть еще и
thematic information on the Aral
дополнительные
Sea, but
ресурсы. Например,
also some
на сайте есть
additional
запись,
resources.
сохранены
For
записи с
example, there is
предыдущих
a
вебинаров, которые у
report
нас
on this
были.
website from our
Вы
previous
можете их
webinars,
посмотреть и
so you can
там уточнить некоторые
watch
вопросы,
them
которые, возможно, у вас возникают.
clarify
И
maybe some
уже
questions that you
непосредственно на базе этого видео вы
may
можете
have,
найти
and
какие-то
then
ответы.
based on this video you may find some answers.
В принципе, на этом все. Я бы
And
хотела сказать еще раз
also,
большое
basically,
спасибо.
that's
Будем
it, and
ждать
I would
всех
like
ваших
to thank
заявок.
you once
И,
again.
Манон,
We
я
will look
передаю слово
forward
вам.
to receiving your applications. Manon, the floor is back yours. Thank you, Bajan.
Manon, I think you're on mute.
Yes.
I hope you heard everything that I said just before, but to our Q&A session, and as Baljan mentioned, we set up on our website a free place, a space where you can ask your question, And we decided to extract some of the best questions in this live session. So Vijit, can we have the presentation back so we can move on to the questions we selected? Thank you. So can I use existing ideas as a base for my project? What I can tell you is that inspiration is always good. And I'm very glad that some innovators decided to make some research and see what works in the world and what can be applied to the Aral Sea. So I won't tell you, I will tell you that it's possible, but please remember that your innovation and your solution will be evaluated according to its innovativeness. So it has to be innovative. You can be inspired, but you cannot fully reuse one solution. Another aspect is that the solution has to be adjusted to the Aral Sea context. So this is something that you have to keep in mind while developing your proposal. Can multiple countries or can proposals be covering several countries? And the answer is yes, it can be related to several countries. However, please don't forget that benefits and positive impacts have to be showed about the Aral Sea. So you can have a proposal actually on the that include the whole basin for the Amu Darya or the Sir Darya, but don't forget to mention what are the benefits. Next, please. Vijit? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yes, can you? Yeah, thank you. So how many pages should be the proposal? So actually, you can find all this information into a PDF and that we developed that really summarize all the template of the call for proposals. And I think all the steps are described into our website. But just to mention quickly some words about it, remind that a successful proposal is no longer than 600 words. So in the template, you have a summary of the proposal, and this doesn't have to exceed 600 words. So you see, it's not so complicated. We really want something simple, something straightforward that really help us to understand what your innovation is about and how innovative it is. Beyond that, you have the possibility to submit optional document, and these include a PPT, a PowerPoint presentation that shouldn't exceed 15 slides. And if you want, you can also add some other materials such as videos or other documents. Actually, this also covers the last question of the slide, if you can use it for infographics, and I will tell you yes. Also, if you include them directly in a PDF format into the optional or into the optional case of the template. What should be included in the project proposal? So actually, it can be very it's very flexible, but again, it has to be straightforward enough, clear enough, and concrete enough, so we can see and really understand what you want to do for this challenge. Actually, I'm thinking out loud on this, but we also thought, you know, to put some implementation aspects will be also helpful to understand how the innovation will be viable in the context. It doesn't have to be extremely developed, but it has to be coherent. So a timeline, and also a few words about the business model that you would like to develop and why you think it is sustainable, why your innovation is relevant for the Aral Sea. I see not everybody is muted, but yes, please. Thanks for muting. those who are not muted yet. Hello. Thank you. So yes, this is, I hope this is clear on that side for the project proposal. But in any case, if you check the template, it's very simple and clear on the website. Next, please. So as a challenge winner, do I have to use the monetary prize exclusively for the project implementation? So this is a question that we have regularly seen, and actually the grant prizes can be really used as you feel it will be the most useful for the further development of your proposal, but also your business. So it is quite flexible on our side. However, the expenses have to enter into specific categories, and it might include staff costs, consultants, contractual services, soft equipment and office premises costs, media, workshops, conferences, meetings, travel expenses, so as you can see, it doesn't include some really big or infrastructure works. This is not really flexible, and if you might want to use it, maybe to use new or to hire new team members and or to train existing team members on your proposal, like that work on the proposal for implementing your project, that will work as well. Next question, is there a guarantee that my project will be implemented? So this is also a recurring question that we received. So the monetary prize, or even as a prize, we won't guarantee that the project will be fully implemented and financed by the World Bank. However, the aim of this challenge is really to provide visibility and promotion win. So we will do everything that is possible, including through the mentorship platform and our network of partnerships, so that the proposals will be fully implemented. And as you could see from the presentation of Judith, we have several projects that are ongoing, and these are very early stage projects. It means that we don't know fully yet the scope of the programs in details, but it also means that everything is possible. So we really hope through this challenge that we will inform these programs. And if you check on our website, you will have a special place for the partners that are sponsoring the event and helping us with the promotion of the challenge, and them to increase the visibility of the winning proposals. Last question on this slide, who will have the copyright on the submitting ideas? So another recurring questions we had on our platform. So do not worry, like we don't have, or the organizers don't have any rights or on the intellectual property of your innovation. However, if you decide to participate in the challenge, you will be visible. So this we cannot help, and this is only good for you. We won't be able to reuse your idea under our name. We will keep your name and or the name of your business or entity. So we don't have any right on the intellectual property for your innovation. Next slide. So it's now the time to get to the Q&A, and yes, I'm just checking on our chat what are the last questions that haven't been addressed yet. So I see that my team has answered most of the questions in the chat. but there is one last remaining question. So about the monetary price, is $4,000 instead meant to fully implement it? We expect to receive very different proposals on regarding the timeline, but regarding the size as well. So of course, we cannot promise that we can implement everything. However, this $4,000 will aim at helping you implementing it. And again, with the activities that we are planning before and after the challenge, I hope it will help you to see what's the best way for the implementation of your innovation. So should the proposal focus on the dried bottom of the Aral Sea, or it can also focus on the land areas in those countries in the Aral Sea basin? So it's a very good question as well. So initially we focused on the watershed of the Aral Sea. However, as we develop programs now in Central Asia on resilient landscapes, we thought, okay, let's enlarge a little bit the scope, including the whole basin, but still we have to demonstrate through the proposals that will be submitted the benefits for the restoration of the Aral Sea. So don't forget to create that link. We really need to have this real regional linkage in this part. So that's one.
Nana, I'd like to add something to that, because this focuses on the problems that come from the Aral Sea, so the region around it. But there are certain issues, like for example the toxic dust that extend very, very far out of the Aral Sea region, or out of the Aral Sea waterbed. So regional proposals are definitely very suitable, because that Aral Sea affects a very large region. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorit. Anything else you would like to add?
No, I think that's it. And I also, okay, for example, we have a socio-economic factor, which is also obviously a broad region around the Aral Sea itself.
Thank you. So I think we don't have any more questions in our live chat, and it's already soon the end of our event for today. So, okay, I see other questions coming in before we close out. Is there any certificate of participation in this webinar? We didn't think about it, but maybe we should. We don't have for this one in particular, but in any case, definitely for those who will be shortlisted and participate into the bootcamp, and further for those who winning the proposals, definitely some certificate will be published. And but if you need one, still we can still outreach the team, and maybe we can see what we can do for you in this particular case. But write to our email that is on the webpage, please. Okay, so I think we addressed all the questions now. And by this, I would like first again to thank the team for their efforts, and also our interpreters who did an incredible job. Again, I remind you, the deadline for the closure of the call for proposal is now extended to January 24th, which is great. So by this, I would like to close this meeting and provide you another playing of our trailer inspiration. Looking forward to receive all your innovative ideas, and see you all very soon. Thank you, everyone.
you.